of the most anticipated smartphone families this year. And I'm not much of an iPhone fan, but trust me when I say this, Apple did not disappoint. We have the iPhone 6, which is a 4.7-inch screen phone, and then a much larger iPhone 6 Plus with a 5.5-inch screen. We'll talk about the iPhone 6 Plus today. We're going to talk about in this review video whether the iPhone 6 Plus will continue the legacy left by the very popular previous generation iPhones and iPods and all those stuffs. And more than that, it's also important and will be interesting to see how the first phablet from Apple competes with the reigning king of phablets, the Galaxy Note series. Welcome guys, Pallav here, and we're gonna talk about the iPhone 6 Plus that I have right here. I have the gold version out here, 16GB version. So before doing the unboxing, let's talk about the availability and price. Most of those you already know right now. This iPhone 6 and 6 Plus have been very difficult to find right now. They're selling like hot cakes. iPhone 6 is nowhere to be found, almost nowhere. You might get it on Amazon.in, but I just checked on Flipkart about an hour ago and there were no iPhone 6. iPhone 6 Plus, however, was much easier to find. Maybe people aren't actually directly going to a 5.5-inch screen from a 4-inch screen. Well, having said that, iPhone 6 Plus has got some extra features that are exclusive to the phablet only. iPhone 6 almost has all the features that kind of a subset of the features that the iPhone 6 Plus has. So it has some advantages. We'll talk about those during this review videos. But first, what are in the box? A fairly compact box for a 5.5-inch phone, and surprisingly on top Apple does not have any design, nothing. It's just a blank white sheet. The phone was marked on the top. On the sides you have the iPhone marking, not much. On the back side you have some of the marketing and sales information. And once you open the box, on top you will find the phone, and then when you go in the box, eventually you will find the earpods, the lightning cable, and the 1 ampere output wall charger. Now 1 ampere output wall charger for a almost just over 2900 mAh battery. It's slightly less, we suppose. The iPad takes a 2.4 ampere battery, but that has a charger. iPad has a much larger battery, I understand. But still, something like the Galaxy Note, for example, they take 2 ampere chargers with the battery goes to about 3200 or so. So the iPhone Plus's battery is not much less than 3200, it's just over 2900. We would have loved a 2 ampere battery. Anyway, so that's how it is. So the usual stuff in the box. So how big is the iPhone 6 Plus? Well, it's a 5.5-inch phablet, so definitely it's not gonna sit comfortably in your hands. That's with all over 5-inch phones anyway. If I compare it, head-on with the Note 3, for example, this guy is very slightly insignificantly narrower than the Note 3. However, it's much taller than that one. Almost the same case with the Note 4. It's slightly narrower, but then much taller than the Note 4. Slightly narrower, meaning it's supposed to be better, in your grip, in your hands. However, it's not necessarily, better to hold than the Galaxy Note 3 or the Note 4. The Galaxy Note 3 and Note 4 has this very nice texture on the sides that actually give grips to your fingers. Not the iPhone 6 Plus, and also it's only 7.1 mm thin, much thinner than the Note 3 and the Note 4, and it's also metal. So this kind of rests in your palm nicely, but then to operate it with one hand, you almost feel like these guys might just slip off your palms. And moreover, because it's much taller than the Note series and taller than some of the other phablets on the other 5.5-inch devices that we've seen, it's taller mainly because just below the display you have the round home button, that's a Touch ID button, which takes a lot of space. Plus, for a design symmetry sake, Apple had to keep the same amount of space over the display as well. So that actually made the iPhone 6 Plus much taller. That makes it harder for your fingers to reach some of the buttons and icons that are towards the top of the screen. So for example, to be able to press the power button, I almost need to give an additional jump and then go over and then get to the power button. So that's a slight inconvenience. Of course, you can just double tap on the touch ID button and the menu just shrinks towards your end, but that's just a temporary solution, and that's only on the software side. So my power button does not come down basically. But then the iPhone 6 Plus feels much meatier in hand thanks to the metal aluminum construction. The Note 3 and Note 4 kind of actually feels plastic, despite of having the Fox leather cover behind. That feels great, but still you're holding a plastic device, and the feel of plastic can never be as good as the feel of metal. And once you hold this, you'll know even the glasses are kind of elevated and towards the side, which again gives the whole phone a very nice solid block feeling. That's a good feeling actually. And now let's talk about the buttons. On the left side you have the hold button and then the volume rocker. Below you have your 3.5mm jack, then mic, your lightning port, and then the speaker. Right side you have the SIM slot and then power button. On top pretty much nothing. Behind you have the cameras and LED flash, and then sensors, your Apple logo. That's pretty much about it. And it also has this very HTC One Max kind of a white lines that look like just a plastic. So it might be just a plastic cover, plastic strip over the aluminum metal inside. Now let's come to the big controversy that some of the channels have shown about the iPhone 6 Plus, that it's bendable. Now I'm not going to go and bend this device. I can't afford to. I have only one review device, but let me tell you what, this actually feels pretty solid in my hand, and it does not look like it's going to bend that easy. Now I haven't exactly kept it in my pocket and sat or partied for 18 hours, but I did almost for 7 to 8 hours, and it felt just about okay. I think it's just how you sit, or maybe if you're sitting in a terribly bad posture. But I'm not blaming anyone, but I think you'll really have to deliberately try to bend this stuff. This stuff actually looks solid, but I just think the bezel could have been slightly thinner to make it more manageable in hand. Spec-wise, the iPhone 6 Plus and the iPhone 6 are powered by the same 1.4 GHz dual-core A8 chip, which is a new chip. Now Apple promises 25% increase in the CPU performance and up to 50% increase in the GPU performance thanks to the M8 Motion core processor. The A8 processor might have a smaller clock speed and only 2 cores. It also has only 1 GB of RAM. Now this combination is much less than some of the Android flagships that you get. For example, the Galaxy Note 3 or even the Galaxy Note 4, they have as much as 3 GB of RAM, and many of the Android flagship has that much of RAM. They have octa-core processors and blah blah. But remember that despite of having small clock speed or only 2 cores, the A8 chip is in-house built, and Apple, because the hardware and the software both are built by Apple, they spend considerable amount of time in the integration of the software and the hardware. So together both these things work perfectly, and the interface is as smooth as butter. You do not feel any lag most of the time. Apart from that, you also have that 5.5-inch screen, a full HD display on the 6 Plus, and between HD and full HD display resolution on the iPhone 6. In addition to this, the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus both have 8MP back camera, 1.2MP front camera, and the 8MP back camera has this new feature called Focus Pixel, where the sensor also has dedicated focus pixels. The pixels also act as focus points, so that your photos and videos can be autofocused that much faster. We'll come back to that in a detail in the camera section. But the iPhone 6 Plus has some of the additional features, and performance wise also, and hardware feature wise. The biggest of them has to be the optical image stabilization that the iPhone 6 Plus carries, which the iPhone 6 does not. By the way, the Note 4 also has an optical image stabilization. The Note 3 and the iPhone 6 only has electronic image stabilization. The difference between them is huge. In the optical image stabilization, it's also called lens shift image stabilization. And as the name suggests, to stabilize the image, the lens actually moves from its space, socket, its space, and it tries to make the light rays that are coming in linear, thereby trying to stabilize the image. And in electronic, you do that after the image is formed at the software level. Now, as you know that at the optical level, before the image was formed, that stabilization is much better than the one that happens at the software level. At the software level, it's never that, it's never that precise and never that superior as far as quality is concerned. Again, we'll test and we'll see the difference between this optical image stabilization and the electronic image stabilization, or the sensor shift as it is called, during our camera detailed review. So those are as far as the specs goes. Some of the other specs you can see out here. Display. The iPhone 6 Plus has a brilliant 5.5-inch display, a full HD display. Now someone like the Galaxy Note 4 has a 2K display, 2560 by 1440 on a 5.7-inch screen. So it has a much more color density in terms of PPI than the iPhone 6 Plus. The iPhone 6 Plus has a 401 PPI of color density. However, you do not feel the difference much. The iPhone 6 Plus display is very bright and crisp. The blacks are very dark. And also there's something that's new on the iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus as far as the display technology is concerned. It has something called dual domain pixels. Now you may not have heard this name much because it's not in many devices. There are only about 2-3 devices that have used this before the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. These are mainly employed to have a better viewing angle than usual. Now what happens here is that normally the pixels are situated in normal rows and columns, one above another, in a linear fashion like this. But in case of the dual domain pixels, they are situated like slightly skewed from the horizontal position, like this, or like this, or like this, like this, like this. So in that case, whenever you're looking at the display from the side, you might be looking at some of the part here. So you can see the color slightly better here than in this position, where the color layers are almost always totally hidden by the layer below that. But when you have like this, or like this skewed, then some part is exposed to you even when you're looking from the side. So that's, in let's say layman language, is what the dual domain pixel is. We've checked that out and we found that actually, whether that made a difference or not, that's a debatable thing, because even the display on the 5S was gorgeous, but the one on the iPhone 6 Plus is wow, it's mind-blowing. The viewing angles are awesome. You can see the pictures and even the text even from almost 180 degrees. User interface wise, you get the latest iOS 8.1 with the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus. The 8.1 brings in much more refinement in terms of performance, as well as in terms of design and visual front. But some of the new features that were not on the iOS 7X. For example, there's this one particular feature that I love, is that now finally you can replace the default keyboard of the iPhone with a third-party keyboard. I absolutely love some of the third-party keyboards, like let's say the Swift key or let's say the swipe key. I've always used, almost 95% of the time, I use the swipe feature on a keyboard. That's very convenient and particularly useful in a big phablet where you do not need to go and tap in each letter, because for that you almost always necessarily have to use both of your hands. With the swipe feature, you can actually use it with one finger, and in the iPhone 6 Plus it's really necessary because it's a big screen. So I've immediately replaced the default one with a Swift key. I won't go too deep into iOS 8.1 because that's totally, that deserves a dedicated review video in itself. And you almost know, and it's not a novelty of the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus because they are already porting them to the older devices as well. The call quality is excellent, and at no point of time we felt any problem in conversationing, and there was no problem whatsoever. There was no dead air, there was no call dropping at all. Absolutely top-notch call quality, and also the reception was first grade. Even when I was at the second level basement or inside the elevator, for for a good amount of time the phone could actually connect to its network and we could talk. Oof, now comes the big feature, the 8MP camera, autofocus camera that can record at full HD 60 FPS or 30 FPS. It can also record at 240 FPS slow motion video, and there are some other shooting modes that the iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus bring in. But what's really exciting in the 6 Plus is its optical image stabilization, as I explained before. We did some tests with this video, and the optical image stabilization on this iPhone 6 Plus was mind-blowing. The videos are really smooth. Even when you're walking and shooting a video, let's say even when you're on a scooter, if it's not at like such a breathtaking speed, the camera could actually stabilize those videos and even those images to a large extent. The videos were really smooth. And know that iOS always records videos in progressive, so it does not skip line, it's not interlaced. So what you get is a crystal clear, crisp 60 frame per second full HD video. The images under enough light are very detailed. Even when you zoom in up to 100%, the saturation and hue are very natural. They're not overdoing the saturation at all. And even on the display, they're not, they're not trying to fool you basically by showing you, eye-popping colors and everything. But that might just fool. If you're a photographer who really cares about the natural colors, you can see that on the iPhone 6 Plus, unlike some of the other Android flagships where they really employ these technologies where the image, the colors, and some of the other things of the photos and videos really pop out. So that kind of looks great to eye on the phone, but whenever you port it to PC and see, they look faded. But not on the iPhone 6 Plus. It kind of shows you that true saturation and hue, so that you know how you're clicking the picture and the video. Under low light, the iPhone 6 Plus does a great job of reducing images up to a good amount of ISO. Although I saw while recording low light video, the metering was not exactly up to the par, because by default it takes let's say an average metering, and it takes the exposure as an average of the whole frame, which actually makes the video much darker if you, let's say, have a road in between the frame and where you have only some cars coming. So you typically have light at the middle of the frame, but then darker on most part of the sides of the frame. So it takes the average and it makes the frame really dark. So that's one of the issues that we find with the metering. Not really an issue, it's a limitation really, but I would have liked to be able to change the metering like on some of the Samsung and some of the other Android devices. Now you can check out the sample of some of the other camera features, some of the other photos and videos we took. Some of them include the 43 MP panorama. It's breathtaking, amazing, and it's very good and smooth. And although it stitches the images, but then you do not exactly see the stitching at the joint points. Even when you zoom in the photo to a large extent. That's really good thing. It stitches the images perfectly. And also you have the time-lapse feature, which is again a new thing in the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus.
Staying up, I'm wilding out, I'm leaning in, pushing off my sneakers to the ground. I do not jump, I move the earth down. Bear witness to the genius of my sound. Born at the bottom, but now I'm knocked down. Look, I'ma call it swagger. I slip through time zones like a broken dagger.
We've always loved the music quality, the music output via speakers on the iPhones and the iPads. They are very, very loud, but not only that, unlike some of the Android and Windows devices, they are quite bass heavy, and also the treble are proper. So even when you're listening to songs via speaker in a crowded place, which you should not do by the way, those songs come out really, really well with bass heavy, and they do not exactly sound flat. This experience multifold increases once you switch to listening via the earpods that are supplied. The earpods are of great quality, and the bass is enhanced, and the treble is also enhanced, and it also let's say covers much larger frequency then. We tested some of the most demanding games on the iPhone 6 Plus, including the FIFA 15, Asphalt 8, Shadowgun, Dead Zone, and Nova 3. So these games on the iPhone 6 Plus played perfectly without any lag. The motions did not skip any frame. There were no lag at all during the gameplay. Almost whatever game we threw in on the iPhone 6 Plus is played them perfectly. Absolutely smooth, top-notch gaming device. And iPhone 6 Plus, by the way, helps in the sense that because it's a big device, it's much better to hold in hand and play the games. And for once, I love those wide or love those thick bezels on the top and bottom of the display, because you now have a very good hold on the device while playing the game. The iPhone 6 Plus literally smokes the benchmark scores. We tested Antutu, we tested 3D Mark, and some of the other things we tested, GFX also, and it consistently came in top 1 or 2 devices, including iOS, Android, as well as Windows. So the iPhone 6 Plus, as I told you, despite of having a quite low powered CPU and a memory compared to some of the other Android and Windows devices, it literally tops in terms of the benchmark. Absolute beast. So that's an overview of the iPhone 6 Plus, and we went in depth in some of the dedicated videos that we made regarding gameplays and benchmarks, and some of the camera specification performance, and you can also see our samples and other things on our YouTube channel as well as on our site. But now, should you get the iPhone 6 Plus? And if you want to get the iPhone 6 Plus or 6, which one? Or do you want to ditch your Android or your Galaxy Note to come to iPhone 6 Plus? Well, there are actually multiple answers to that. No doubt, if you have an iPhone device and you always have envied those big screen of the Android devices, the iPhone 6 family gives you exactly that. And if you love the Galaxy Note on your in your friend's hands, then the iPhone 6 Plus is definitely recommended. The iPhone 6 Plus is right up there and probably the main serious contender right now for the next king of phablet. So, if you have a Note 3, should you go to the iPhone 6 Plus? Well, if you have money, of course, but if you're looking to replace your Note 3, you might lose some of the independence and some of the more customization option on the Android that you have. Plus, there are lots and lots of features that the Note 4 gives that the iPhone 6 Plus does not. So it's actually your personal preference whether you like a 2K display on that. That certainly is sharper than the one the iPhone 6 Plus is. A Full HD display that looks absolutely gorgeous. Your Note 4 also has the S Pen. That's one of the novelties the Note series carries that the iPhone 6 Plus does not. The Note 4 also has your the heart rate monitors and some of the other things, and many things actually. So it's really a matter of preference. If you absolutely love the Note 3 and you do not want to shy away from the Note series, you do not have to, because the Note 4 is right up there. You would not miss the iPhone 6 Plus much. If you're an iPhone 4 or iPhone 5 or 5S owner, if you wanted a big screen, iPhone 6 Plus is definitely must. But the main confusion people have out here is whether to buy the iPhone 6 or the iPhone 6 Plus. That's a difficult question, see, and specifically for the iPhone users. If you have had an iPhone 4 or 5, you only have had a 4-inch screen. Now from 4 directly jumping to 5.5 might be a little awkward at first. You'll get used to it, remember, and when you get used to it, you will thank me. But still, if you think you're not comfortable and if you're still confused, go to the shop and hold the devices in your hand for some time. Take your time, go to your friend whoever has those, and if you think you feel comfortable with that 5.5-inch screen, don't think about those band gates and stuff. We're not gonna stress these devices, so not about that. But if you do not feel confident jumping into such a big screen, you're not losing much by owning the iPhone 6. But if you're absolutely crazy about photography and battery life, then you should definitely upgrade to the iPhone 6 Plus, because the main advantages the iPhone 6 Plus has over the iPhone 6 are mainly in 3 fronts. One of them is not very significant, which is that the iPhone 6 Plus has a Full HD display, so it has slightly more color density, but that does not show much. What shows is the optical image stabilization. That's really a big improvement and really a novelty over the iPhone 6. It makes the videos recorded by the iPhone 6 Plus much smoother than the one on the iPhone 6, and for that matter the previous generation iPhones. Another thing is, because the iPhone 6 Plus is bigger, it has a much bigger battery, and thus it has a better battery life. So if you care about the battery life, definitely iPhone 6 Plus over the iPhone 6. But not that it also costs much more than the iPhone 6. So it's really about the personal preference. But looking at all this, if I have to choose between the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus, I think the cost could be the deal maker for the iPhone 6. I might just go for the iPhone 6 because for a difference of about 8,000, I'm losing the optical image stabilization. Mainly, the battery life is not that low on the iPhone 6 also, and I can always optimize my usage. But if I do not care about the money, iPhone 6 Plus is better than iPhone 6. If you like this video, please hit the like button, ask anything related to the iPhone 6 Plus, and we'll try to answer them all. And please subscribe to our channel for more such awesome content in future. Also, please look out for our in-depth comparison between the iPhone 6 Plus and the Note 4, and also some of the dedicated videos that we created of the iPhone 6 Plus. Oh, and by the way, this video is being recorded by a Note 4. You can also check the difference when we make the review of the Note 4 recorded by iPhone 6 Plus.